Blessings, everyone, and welcome you to this next episode of the Ascension Walk series. And this particular topic is dedicated to the inner divine union. And this one I'm really passionate to speak to you about. So first, thank you so much for returning to my YouTube channel, and thank you for turning on that notification bell, as it really helps me. And also for those of you that are new, thank you so much. And I really appreciate and welcome your presence, and feel free to please leave comments so that I can respond back. So in today's episode, I want to dive into this area of the inner divine union. Many individuals are really focused on the outside, on a twin flame energy or a soul union, and so much is really focused on calling that presence within themselves so that it can be expressed in terms of a partnership and life, in being able to share it from there. And they really want somebody to share this space of kind of like a divine union with, yet they really miss what divine union is really about. Divine union is about that frequency of the inner masculine, inner feminine as a sacred divine presence, where it can unify into oneness within individual, regardless of the gender that they are in. Each of us, within whatever gender we're in, we carry both the feminine principle and the masculine principle, and each of them have certain qualities. And when we recognize them as the qualities of divinity, it is the divine expression through them that is the key. And within this, they each have certain way of expressing themselves, from the non-physical to the physical, and to the expansion and the contraction. And they're all really perfect in their own way. And what happens in this Ascension Walk journey, we experience a lot of conflict in our outer reality, which help point out the inner conflict within. And those conflicts are always representation of the conflict within these principles within us that are in a conflict with each other, because they don't know how to hear each other, they don't know how to communicate with each other, they don't know how to process things one another, and they're continuously in this place of a fight or flight response or a freeze response, which then plays out in our outer reality. And through the Ascension Walk journey, particularly the walk of embodiment, which we have to come in from that crystalline Christ presence in which we've opened up to, then is the walk of embodiment, which translates into coming into the body and being able to meet all these areas that are still not harmonized, they're in perhaps conflict, and that resolution has not come about. Now, I have to just pause for a second here and share with you that in the mentorship that Michael and I facilitate once a month, that is dedicated to the I Am inner divine union, we go really deep into this space. And for those of you that are interested, please feel free to email us and join us in that mentorship. It is part of our association that we teach every month, and each month is dedicated to a specific topic. Like, for example, last month was all about communication. How does the sacred divine feminine communicate with the sacred divine masculine within? How does the sacred divine masculine communicate with the sacred divine feminine within? And how is the unification? And this Friday, we are going to be talking about the responsibility. How is the responsibility of the sacred divine feminine for herself? And how is the sacred divine masculine responsible for itself? And how is it that they can be in response in their ability with each other? So that's this coming Friday, and you can email us at ascensionalchemists@gmail.com to get the full information. I'll leave the link here for this for you as well. Now let's get back to the topic regarding these two parts of ourself in the union. So when we are walking this ascension, we begin, again, as if you watch those other videos, we begin to really notice what is happening inside of us, inside our body. So we're taking full responsibility for our walk in its expression, in its creation, and in its literally materialization. So with these two principles within us need to find a way to harmonize. And for them to harmonize, they must know each other. In order to know each other, they need to respect one another. So they need to appreciate one another. And one of the things that you find as you begin to become more aware of this, it's like, wow, I've been craving this on the outside from others, from, let's say, my parent or my child or my spouse or my friends or colleagues. Meanwhile, all along the way, it has been from within that is calling me, but I couldn't quite access where that was. And when you begin noticing, wow, these principles are within me, and these are divine principles, but I'm in separation for them because I'm either suppressing them, or I am sort of like pushing them in another way, or I'm being passive about it, or not allowing it. So all of these translates into conflicts. So as a result, it affects the way our bodies feel. Certainly, that is the byproduct of the way our emotions have serviced. And that is the byproduct of the way we've been thinking from this conflict lens. And to bring it to a resolution, we first have to become aware of it. So those of you who are watching this video, that's the first step of awareness. Wow, I wasn't aware that this is happening inside of me. So let me get to know myself greater, not just myself as a human self, but that greater part of me, my multidimensional self, my higher self that has these principles in it. Let me understand what the basis of them are and how to begin that relationship so that I can bring it into a union, which goes to becoming, from this union, you take it into the marriage. They have to emerge, and that's the sacred marriage that becomes within yourself. So then again, your energy is not focused on the outside. The energy becomes full internal from that responsibility that you're taking, so that you can maneuver this in navigating it from that eternal presence, that is communicating within you. Then it begins to translate from a very different lens into the outer field and made manifest into reality in a harmonized state. So one of the best things that you can recognize is that in which is projected in the outer screen of your reality is there for you to notice and see what within you can harmonize. For example, if what you are seeing is seeing beauty, harmony, peace, joy, loving, this is a communication between your sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine, that have found a way to be unified. And the fruit of that unified state is these beautiful way in which your lens of reality is seeing, feeling, sensing. Now, if you're experiencing, for example, on that outer reality, the opposite of it, that communicates the discord and the disharmony between these two principles in you that is taking place. And that gives you then the opportunity to go ahead and bring it into a balance by recentering, reevaluating, repositioning, rebalancing. All of these things come because you can become present to it and have that greater awareness, whenever this internal light of your divine presence turns on, it shines light on area that is in discord. So, and that those are usually the areas that have kind of been like more hidden, and because it shines a light on it, they become accessible, and then you have the choice what to do with them. You can fully love them so they're pardoned into the light so they can move forward as an energy in motion, or you can hold on to them and allow your thought and emotions to translate into a deeper density and create more from that reality. That also is the choice. It is up to you. On your ascension path, where it is more luminous and is more light filled, you will take the personal responsibility in creating a different reality, because it is kind of impossible for you to have this awareness, this divine consciousness, and not want those divine qualities to be expressed through your different bodies, through especially your physical body, in which through this physical body you earth it. This is why many individuals that are on the ascension path, when they are staying in the ecstatic realm, they're not coming into the body. They are kind of irresponsible to be around with. You see, it's very ungrounded. They are undisciplined and can't quite deliver. It's very erratic all over the place. And those who are grounded in their truth, they're very poised and solid and are able to deliver, because they've been able to deliver it into the body. And to be able to deliver it into the body, you've had to meet all these impurities, all these areas that have been more poisoned pockets of density by one's own creative thoughts and emotions that have turned into reality. So it's kind of like a cleanup process, and that's why it doesn't happen over time. So for example, for me, it's been a 12-year journey, and it will continue, because first it has met all of these areas, and it's been the struggle with kind of like battling some of them and then moving into a peace, battling some, moving into a peace, and then finding a way to end the battle and allowing the peace to move forward. And that has had to be the translation between these two principles within that had been wanting to get the attention, so that I can also be included in them, so it's not all over the place. So hopefully this really communicates in recognition how important it is that your internal divine principles and those qualities of the sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine have come together in a unity. And this unity has many different faces or facets of it, such as there's the facet of communication, the facet of responsibility, the facet of accountability, the facet of compassion, and there's quite a bit of it. And those are the areas that we go really deep in our mentorship. And for those of you interested, you can always reach out, and you also can attempt to do this on your own, because it's already in you, and you have access to it as well. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm very glad that I had a chance to just come on and share a little bit about this, and just give yourself permission to notice what your lens is noticing. Where your attention goes, that's where the energy flows. And from there, that's a really good indication what needs to be cleared up within on your ascension walk. And on this walk, you're going to have some smooth walk and you're going to have some rough walk. That too is part of it. And for it not to be judged, only recognize that it is a vessel or a vehicle in which is giving you greater opportunity to allow more of your divinity to step forward from that crystalline light, that Christed presence, that sunlight that has been already turned on in you. It's kind of interesting in many cultures, whether it was called Krishna, Mitra, Osiris, Christ, all kinds. It means that sun, that luminous light in you has been turned on. So from that light of divinity that's been turned on, you can see. That's how you are, the Christ in you is seeing, the crystalline light is seeing, so you can see your own shadows. And when you see your own shadows, you can cast out then the impurities out of your field because the light has turned on. It becomes pretty simple, but initially it's quite complicated, and you will stumble. That too is part of it, just like a brand new baby, until it sits and crawls and walks. I mean, it's quite a journey. And then before you know it, you're running with it and you're creating the reality from that pristine purity. And that is part of that great utopia, not as a fantasy, but a true divine reality that many of us chose to be seated on this planet and bring it into fruition, so that we're really living through that heavenly principles here on earth. So much love, and I look forward in hearing your comments. Thank you so much for being present, and thank you so much for allowing your divine essence to radiate and live through you. Have a beautiful